Chapter 39. As he speaks, another pulse from his followers flows into him. His hand glows once more, showing clearly what he plans to do with the energy. You're inside the barrier, so you'll live along with my followers. For a while, at least. He says as he reaches down, dropping weakly back to his knee. For this planet, I bring rebirth. There is a momentous flash of heat and energy. There was a roar, a flash of light, and for a moment I was on fire. As Paternus, one of the most insidious monsters I had ever met, was preparing to destroy Earth, I saw a chance and took it. I could have used the Powerball to create a moon, and use Goldozaru to completely flatten Paternus. The problem, of course, being that I'd destroy Earth, and potentially the whole solar system in my rage as well. Like it or not, I was not so ready to sacrifice the entire planet to defeat Paternus. I was slammed hard into the barrier, my head smashing against it leaving me dazed, the air a haze of burning plasma, as I already regret what I've done. My outfit, one of the finest sets of Scion armor ever made, melts away, searing my skin further as it goes. The barrier shatters, the force launching me back more, smashing me into the ground, rolling me along. The roar of the air as it moves outward, sucking away the burning heat with it, nearly deafens me with how loud it is. I bury my face in my arms, letting the blast of energy wash over me. Fuck. I crawl out of the dust, my burnt skin wrinkling, cracking, splitting. It's almost agony, as I drag myself fully out, trying to get back to my feet. I stumble twice, finally making it on to one knee. Several spots on my body are charred black, but overall it's not quite as horrible as I expected. Arg. I whip around, sending another pulse of agony through my body, following the sound as best I can. A large section of collapsed building shakes, before falling over to reveal my foe. Paternus crawls out of his own hole, his body covered in burns, the damage to his side looking even worse than before. He looks around at the devastation that surrounds us, his eyes wide in surprise. He spots me, a snarl immediately forming on his draconic face. You, he growls, stumbling to his feet. What did you do? I killed them, asshole, I reply, forcing myself back to my feet. That much should be obvious. There is a tense moment where Paternus looks close to a complete rage fit, but he somehow reins himself in. I see. I should have seen that coming. I certainly didn't expect a suicide-level attack, aimed at simply removing my followers. He says as he tenses. Fuck you, Paternus. I reply as I push back into potential unlocked. It also damaged you quite a bit. I'd say with all the damage you've taken, we're nearly at the same strength. Guess you should have healed with your followers' energy. You think this will be enough? He yells as he rushes towards me, fist raised. I spin left, my toes barely touching the ground as his fist hits nothing but air. As I round out, I shift my footing, bringing a leg out to catch him in his damaged right side. The hit slams him away, the broken battered spot leaking even more blood as he slaps against the ground. He quickly jumps back to his feet, grasping at his side, breathing heavily. Think Paternus? I say, pumping even more energy into my system. With a roar, he rushes in again, warier than every of my own power and skill. He slams to a stop half a foot away, the right cross I've thrown going wide, giving him an opening. He grabs my arm, lifting me, trying to slam me into the ground at our feet. With a yank, we're pulled into the area between time and space, before we pop back in several hundred feet above the ground. He finished the slam, but instead of hard ground, it's open sky beneath us. I quickly right myself, lifting both hands, releasing the energy I had built up as he threw me. He wraps his arms around his upper body as the attack envelopes him. The energy was purposefully low, and as I release it I launch myself through my own attack, zeroing in on where I last saw him. I'm blind, but I know I'll be slamming into him momentarily, and spin for a kick that catches him right in the stomach, launching him aside. No, I know I've got this one, I say, concentrating on my surroundings. He appears to my right, my arms already crossing in front of my face as his fist slams into them. They creak under the onslaught, but he doesn't have the strength he started with, and it barely pushes me back. Time slows down as I move back in, a palm strike to the chin lifting him bodily into the air, as I continue moving upwards. My left hand comes down, grabbing the back of his head to yank him forward to smash into my knee as I reach head height. His free hand grabs my leg as time snaps back into place, yanking me away before I can do more damage. I hit the ground off center, but manage to get back up immediately. My body protests the movement, but I'm beyond the pain already. As I reach Paternus again, our attacks are nearly matched in speed and strength. Every hit that reaches, another is blocked. Every dodged attack is the precursor to a follow-up that just as likely makes it through. We're wearing each other down to the bone. A skilled fight that has turned into more than a brawl, but less than a fight. I see an opening, my palm slapping wetly against his broken side as I send a blast of energy through it. Gore spatters the area behind him, but I'm wide open as his roar of rage empowers him. His fist smashes into my temple, and I drop like a rock. He lands on me, his knees digging into my sides as he starts raining down blows on my face. I'm dazed, but I manage to get my hands up to protect my face. He hits 2 more times, each one coming slower than the last before they stop altogether. I peer between my arms, staring up at Paternus where he is perched on top of me. He stares off, his eyes dazed. He sways a bit, before rolling off of me, flopping to the ground. His blood coats my entire left side, the ground beneath us muddy and sticky with it. You won, he whispers, his breaths in tiny little gasps. Combat ended. Enemies. Paternus, LVL? 450,000 EXP. I think away the alert, as I feel myself growing stronger. I didn't level up, so this battle must have increased my battles points, which being in the middle of the calculation, probably added a good bit. Yeah, I did. I reply, forcing myself to my knees. I look around, the once massive city, a field of broken buildings and dust. What wasn't destroyed by the cultists was certainly destroyed by my own attack. The area that was contained in the barrier a crater of glass. The area around it flattened from the force of the blast. It was luck, he says, as more blood pours from the open wound on his side. Yeah, maybe some of it. The rest was all skill, though. I reply, making it to my feet. Well, it's been fun, Paternus. I raise both hands, closing my eyes to focus on my attack, and not the deep pain I feel all over my body. I'm running low on energy, but I think I have enough to finish him off. I dial back a bit, making sure I have enough energy to make the jump out of here. All I need is to sleep a bit and I'll be healed, but falling asleep on a battlefield is ill-advised. Opening my eyes again, I smirk. By the way, Paternus, that was round 2, I tell him. Before he can say anything in reply, I release the energy I've built up, obliterating the area in front of me for miles. I can't hold back too much, knowing what level of threat Paternus actually is. Thankfully, I know that when he's dead, I'll be able to find the Dragonball using the radar, so I don't worry about it flying off. I drop the attack, collapsing back to the ground. I drop back to my base form, taking a moment to just breathe. My body is cut, broken, and burned. I'm also like 80% naked. Kicked YOS though. I thought, laughing slightly. Ow, I said as my ribs creak. I push myself to my hands and knees, concentrating my energy on Cammy's tower. If there is any safe place for me, it's there. It takes me several moments to concentrate correctly on it, and I start twisting my energy to lock on as I used to. I'm so fatigued that it actually takes me several moments to feel the slight pull. There is an ear-splitting crack, the sky high above literally shattering with the force of an explosion. The largest explosion I had ever borne witness to, just several hundred feet away and several miles up. A streak of light comes out of the break in the sky, slamming into the ground far below it, the earth rising in waves from the force. The ground for miles around is torn asunder, tossing me in the air as the area is flipped inside out. The air shakes, as though the molecules themselves are breaking apart. Everything goes silent as my eardrums rupture, the air pressure so powerful that they've imploded. I scream, my hands grabbing my ears as I'm thrown from the area at what feels like the speed of light. I can't gather the necessary energy to right myself or arrest the fall. The best I can do is concentrate my energy on lessening the damage I'll take when I finally hit. My right shoulder shatters as I hit, bouncing much like a flat rock on a peaceful lake. I roll on the second hit, ragdolling across the landscape, before finally I hit something so hard that I slam to a stop. Ah, fuck. I scream, my body an entirely new level of agony. All I can do is shake, the pain covering me from head to toe unlike anything else I'd ever felt. I don't sense a threat, I can't hear anything. All I can think is that Paternus must have survived and returned. I concentrate on planet Scion, knowing it'll use every bit of energy I have left to make the jump, but knowing that if Paternus survived and can do that much damage, that Earth is lost regardless. I lock on, and with a push, I break into the area between time and space. For a moment I feel I'll make it, when a hand grabs my throat, yanking me back into the third dimension. My mind's eye is filled with visions that go too quickly for me to even hope to make sense of them. My actual eyes are filled with a vision that could only be described as my worst nightmare. The creature that holds me aloft by my throat is an amalgamation of scion, dragon, and many other creatures of unknown origin. His mouth is moving, only the subtitles I've been using for over a decade letting me know what he's saying. I see I made it right on time then, he says, as we slowly float back down from the upper atmosphere. This creature has a power level one can sense, and he's not all that powerful. At full strength, I'd crush him and keep walking. He was so far below my level. But after the fight against Paternus, I can barely stand as it is. I think as he pauses, oh, Paternus is still here. It asks. I wasn't sure if he would be. As we touch back down, he tosses me away, ignoring my cries as I slam down on my shattered shoulder. I roll over, quickly using Observe on him. Name, Oversys. Title, The Watcher. Race, eternal dragon unknown. Age, not applicable. Status, alive. HP. LVL. Oversys is one of the remaining shadow dragons. Born from a mixture of wishes, he. Combat has started. Enemies. Oversys LVL. 250,000 EXP. Before I can read any more, Oversys kicks me in the face like I'm a football, shattering my nose and breaking 2 of my teeth. He reaches down, grabbing my hair and lifting me to be eye to eye with him. He has suffered greatly for his power. He has come to end KL's life by any means necessary. He says as my eyes widen. That's what the rest of the description says, by the way. My confusion must have been evident as he continues. Did you know Tulls made 42 wishes? He asks. From wishes for food to fixing Namek, to be stronger than you. He only needed 1 wish to fix Namek, but with 3 available to him, he made it a bit of game to wish for something new each time. Muri made 3 wishes. 2 in attempts to kill Tulls or himself, and 1 to open the dead zone. He stares off for a second, before continuing. The first wish, however, was to understand and speak to every race. Purunga can understand the intent, and so gave him the knowledge of the language. In the creation of myself and my brothers, the wishes are corrupted further, however. Where Tulls was giving the ability to speak and understand all languages, I was given the ability to understand all races, from the beginning of time, till the end. But to speak to them, that can be taken in all sorts of ways. Perhaps my actions today will resonate with the people of the universe. Perhaps it will speak to them. He glances at me, before backhanding me across the landscape. I smash into the ground, sliding for several dozen feet, before I find myself resting at his feet, in a pile of dirt and mud. He snarls as he stares down at me. I have seen everything, from start to finish. I have experienced everything. You think you're in pain now, you think what you've suffered is agony. He screams, kicking me in the side. I have watched you fail, and the universe ends with you, you selfish bastard. I have watched you fail time and time again, letting this universe be wiped away from existence simply because you couldn't play the game. Vehat. I ask the words a jumble of blood and spit, my broken nose and mouth making me barely understood. I know it all, Billy. Oversys says, leaning down to whisper. I know that this universe is a game. I know that when you lose, it, along with the 1,000 trillion lives that inhabit it, will end. Shock coursed through me at his revelation, unable to comprehend how he could possibly know that. How he knows my name, a name I hadn't heard in over 10 years. The creators of this game left a loophole, though. The game doesn't end till you lose. Not die Lose. You've already shown that when you let that dumb animal Frisia kill you. He says, as he once again lifts me by my throat. I've seen every instance of the future, except the ones where your choice alone changes things. It's as though the universe is a flashlight, and where it hits you, there is only shadow beyond. But I can see how your actions shape others' lives. I can see how you end it all. In just a moment, you're going to wake up in Otherworld, where you'll spend eternity. No one will ever wish you back, that I'll make sure of. He places his hand against my chest, as again my mind is filled with visions going so quickly that I can't process them. Oversys pauses, watching my face intently. How interesting. For some reason, you're able to see some of what I've experienced. Perhaps one day you'd even understand what I've gone through. He says as his hand warms, pulsing with energy. He leans in, his mouth inches from my ear. I want you to know that I'm sorry. You're going to suffer for eternity, knowing that you've lost out on playing this game in its many iterations. I don't want to cause you suffering, but the lives of the entire universe are at stake, and this is the only way to save it. He pauses again. An action I've taken to understand is him looking slightly into the future to see the best course of action. His eyes widen as his head swings back down to me. You didn't. He yells as everything flashes. Flash. His blast slices through my chest, obliterating every bit of me. Flash. I use instant transmission to somehow pop away, but he's able to snag me from within again, yanking me back out. Again his attack slices right through me, killing me within moments. Flash. I launch a blast from my mouth, distracting him enough that I'm able to yank away, using instant transmission to get some distance. As I pop back into existence, he's already in place, his hand centimeters from my chest, as his blast of energy kills me on the spot. Flash, 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 flash. A million options in a split second, and none of them save my life. I flash back to real time, a blast of energy slicing into my chest, through it and out my back. The world slows down, time ticking by in slow motion as he drops me. I slap the ground like a hunk of meat, unable to even take a single breath of air, the thumping of my heartbeat missing entirely. Oversys is turning, my dying body an afterthought for him, as a flash of light just feet away takes a full minute to appear. Kibito steps out of the flash of white light, Broly half a step behind him. Everything is glazing over as Broly's hair goes spiky gold, the storm of electricity erupting from his body a new danger on its own. Kibito moves toward me as Broly launches forward, Oversis almost phasing away before Broly's expanding hand grabs him, keeping him in place. The ground shakes as Broly lifts him, slamming him full bodily into the ground, Kibito moving to my side in slow motion. The subtitles are a mess of yells, and my name being called, as everything fades to black. I guess they got Baba's message. Sacred world of the Kais. You insolent fool, Beerus whispers angrily, staring down at the events on Earth. Lord Beerus, sir, please. He was going to die, Shin says hurriedly, before backing up as Beerus turns towards him. And what of it? If he can't handle these upstarts, then he deserves to die. Beerus snarls. And to go behind my back, to send your attendant and that scion to save him? I specifically said no one from Otherworld was to help him. Lord Beerus, I'm sorry, Shin says, shaking. He is blocked from Otherworld. He is to receive no help. Beerus practically screams. What part was misunderstood? He helped defeat Majin Buu, Lord Beerus. He needed help in return, and I had to give it. Shin says, cowering. Beerus growls, before turning back to Whis' orb, showing the current fight. Whis, who is next in line to be the Supreme Kai. Lord Beerus? Shin asks as Whis replies. I'm not sure, my lord. I'll have to look at the current structure. I'm sure someone could be found, he says, pulling out a small book from within his robe. Find someone then, Beerus says, turning back to the Supreme Kai. Hakai,